40.
Okay, 39.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30.
29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8.
7. 6. 5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Hi, and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show, a minty, fresh take on politics. We're getting a little late start here tonight. Just running around. I don't even know if I played the right intro there, but anyway, we have Joseph Bortka on tonight. He's fresh back from the state convention, the GOP State Convention, and he went and he's tried to do his stuff there, and he ran into some things. And we're going to talk to him about that a little bit. But tonight I have my John Schmitz for Mayor thing on here because if anybody knows, it's been about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, I was getting signatures at the state fair or at the Marion County Fairgrounds to try to get on the ballot for the mayor. Now, if you remember your history there, they threw off enough signatures to get me off the ballot. But this last weekend, finally, 6 years of work to try to get through to something. I actually was in the caucus to replace Jen Pace. If you'll remember, I've done some work with Jen Pace when she ran in 22. She tragically passed away of a heart attack, but was on the ballot, and the primary came and went, and she actually won the primary. So last weekend, we had a caucus, and about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I decided to get in on that, and then we won that. We won that with 68% of the vote. And now we have 4 months to try to beat Andre Carson. So that's for the U.S. House of Representatives. So somebody pinch me because that's a little crazy. I think that most people know I do a lot of local politics. I'm trying to get building permits and floodplains and everything else like that taken care of. So we're off to the races. I should have my campaign stuff all together. I'm hiring the people, and we are going to give this a run. I am going to be speaking this Saturday already at the RBI fundraiser. RBI, you're asking, what is that? RBI is reviving baseball in inner cities. And they've been around since 1981. They were actually another group, but then in 96, they went to this group. And this is it's like they get kids to play baseball and softball in the inner cities, and it's grown to quite a big event. And I'm honored to be able to go speak to them and talk about, hey, we need more activities in these neighborhoods so that our kids will get off their phones and get outside. So I'll be doing that Saturday. So that's fun. That's part of the fun that gets to go with campaigning for a higher position like this. But tonight we're going to talk about the state convention, and that was Joseph Bortka was there. He was actually a state delegate and a voting PC in my race, and so he's got a front row seat to all this. But he was really stirring up some stuff about getting his motions in and his all the things he was trying to do there. So we're going to talk to him. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. I think he is ready. So let's bring him on, and then we're going to do small talk. Small talk's right in the wheelhouse for this, and then we'll have our panel come on and we'll ask some questions. So, hey Joseph, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, John?
I looked up. I was watching Oppenheimer tonight. And I get a little dozy. I was like, "That's a long movie." I thought it would be over before 9 o'clock, and I'm looking. It's like 9 o'clock. So I'm running up the stairs, trying to get going here. So it's been a little chaos, and it's been a couple of whirlwind days because as you know, you were there, and that was quite another, it was 2 weekends in a row you've had excitement. So,
Oh yeah.
So tell our audience who you are, why you're here.
So I'm Joseph Bortka. I'm a District 100 candidate for state rep, the Republican in the race for state house in Indianapolis, and I was also a delegate to the Republican convention this year. And there's a few different things that happened there. We elected Micah Beckwith to be our lieutenant governor candidate. Historic race where because usually, as many of you probably already know, the LG is chosen by the governor, and then the convention approves him. But Micah went out there. He said, "Not today. I'm going to actually take the rules and follow them, and try to get the delegates to elect me instead of whoever the governor decides to pick."
So were you surprised that he won? I mean, I was surprised. I was there. I was not a voting delegate. I was there helping the Todd Rokita campaign. I don't know what that was. I was a volunteer, but I didn't do anything. But I just think they want to be there to take pictures. I don't know. But were you surprised?
I knew that it was going to be close. I knew that the polling was not going to tell the whole story because there was a lot of stuff going on and a lot of reasons why people wouldn't want to reveal who their actual pick was. Number one, for you guys who aren't really invested in politics to the degree that us crazy people like John and I are, number one, all these delegates are politically savvy for the most part. And so when they send out all these surveys saying, who are you going to vote for? Well, you don't want to give the opposite team good information because it could help them. So there's that for one. And then the other thing is anybody who was on the more establishment side of things, if they supported Micah, would not want to be on that list saying that they supported Micah. So they wouldn't, even if they didn't know who it was, they wouldn't want it to be the Braun people and reveal that they like Micah because they don't want to get on the naughty list.
Yeah. Well, and there was some concern because there was a barcode on your ballot, and they were using that to use for the electronic voting and all that. And I get that, but it got to be the point where they had to come out and say, hey, we're not going to track you for this. And, and honestly, after these couple of weekends here, I think that people feel like they're free to speak. Did you not feel an undercurrent of fear of the party? Could you not feel that?
There's definitely it's been like that. And this is part of why I was doing what I was trying to do, is because what we want is to have an integrated Republican Party that has all the old guard people and the new people that Trump and COVID and the 2020 election brought in. And we want those people to be on the same team. And so there was a lot of distrust there between those two groups. And so, the thing about elections is they're built on trust. You have to be able to trust that the outcome was fairly achieved in order for you to have peace. And the problem is, if Micah won and all of the establishment people can accept that because they just implicitly trust the machines and the systems in place. But the problem is, if it had been the other way, I know there would have been a lot of people that would have been suspicious, whether wrongfully or rightly, because there's so much distrust in the establishment side of the party, and these people don't trust the electronic means of conducting the elections. And they have good reasons not to trust them. I'm not going to sit here and say that I fully believe that the machines they used were compromised, but the fact that there is a significant minority of people that think that they could be compromised is a problem for our elections. And so
we need to get that trust there. Well, and the way I look at this,
under the rug.
Yeah, the way I look at this is probably the best thing for the party. So just say that Michael loses, you have about half of these delegates and half of the party mad. Yep. Now that he wins, they aren't mad, and Julie goes back to her job. And she texted me congratulations for winning the caucus, and I think she is just fine with things. I think she is fine. She's got a good job in the House, and she's going to be effective there. And then we'll see how the other side works out when Micah and Braun get together. And I think that we're going to be fine. I mean, the good news is the Democrats, they're a mess. I was talking to Bob Kern, and I thought he was going to pop on tonight about their delegate, their race. They're trying to shut him out. And I guess Jennifer McCormick called him Micah Beckwith of their party. And then they're refusing to give him the list of delegates to call into town. So it's, these games, folks, these games are for both parties. So before we go, Joseph, let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and play Small Talk. I think it's very appropriate tonight. I actually listen to it before I play it. And then we're going to get Brad and Tiffany on. And I think that Lucy's going to pop on here, but she was saying, not my monkey, not my circus. But I think you had some requests to libertarians that may be appealing to them. So maybe she'll be able to get on here as we get going. So let's go ahead and play Small Talk, and then we'll have some comments about that, and then get on with the questioning. We'll get on with the grilling of the Joseph Bortka. All right. Yeah, let's go.
I'm Mark Small. This is Small Talk. Weekend before last, two names were kind of in the news in the same articles, two people I detest. But it was interesting that they were in the same article. The article was about Micah Beckwith's victory at the Republican convention here in Indianapolis. I don't like him. I think he's despicable. But they were quoting James Bopp Jr., who was an architect behind creation of a corporate structure called the Indiana State Republican Committee. That's a corporate entity that really is the Republican Party. Bopp said of Beckwith's winning the nomination that it was a great threat to the Republican Party. And that told me all I needed to know about Mr. Bopp's orientation on things. Bopp wrote corporate documents, signed off as the incorporator for a corporate entity that's virtually unassailable as an entity in Indiana government and politics. A corporation you could normally buy shares from and take over. This is a not-for-profit, and it's weird. It's kind of like a closely held corporation. Mr. Bopp has done a lot of things that way. I think that's brilliant in a lot of ways. I think it's despicable, too. We shouldn't allow it in terms of political entity being able to be a corporate entity that you can't take over. Now, I don't like Mr. Beckwith's policies, what he pursues. But here's the point. Bob wasn't saying anything about how great of a threat this was to our state or our nation. He said that Beckwith poses a serious threat to the Republican Party. Bob did that a long time ago. We need to take away the laws that allow corporations like that to exist. Peace.
There you go. That's did you have some words with? I don't know if we can get into what you talked to Jim at. I saw you talking to him. I'm like, well, I would like to be a fly on the wall there.
Well, I would have loved Mark to be here because he's bringing up some really interesting points. Because I think he's a little bit off in how the party's structured, and we're going to actually talk about that because that's really essential to what I was trying to do at the convention, along with all the other people that were involved. And that's, when he talks about corporations generally having shareholders, well, in a sense, Republican Party members are
shareholders. Yeah, exactly. Well, before we get digging into this, let's see how our lovely panel's doing here. Tiffany, how are you doing tonight? It looks like, did you get stuck in the rain? Your hair's not as fluffy as it usually is.
No, it's just so humid out. I'm having a happier day. I probably should put a hat on.
That's what's wrong with my hair. It's just the
thanks,
humidity.
Don, for making me feel good about me. I'm glad I'm not a teenage girl. I'd be running for a reason.
You are usually making fun of me, so I thought I'd get a jump early on you. So, Brad, I know.
Wait, I'm not finished. I went to the dentist today. I had a clean checkup, no cavities, no issues. No gums receding, nothing like that. So I'm really happy. My dentist is Dr. John Klass at Simply Dental. I got a toothbrush for free today, so that was really great. And I'm previewing our T-shirts for the Fisher Spark Parade.
Look at that. I heart Fishers. That's really, that's it.
So super excited about that. Do you
When
like it,
is
Brad?
when is the Fisher's?
Oh yeah, I wear a large, so just.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, because you wouldn't wear it.
I
Our
would wear
Spark
fish
Parade.
concerts. That's what I can wear when I go and do the fish interviews and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, I'll wear that. Yeah.
I love it.
Make
So,
sure you turn your phone sideways, Brad.
Okay.
Our the Fisher Spark Parade is on Saturday. Step off is at 6 p.m. here in Fisher. So it is our 4th of July, our freedom celebration. So if you're in town, please come by. And these are our Republican T-shirts that say "I Heart Fishers." So like, yeah.
There you go. It's all good. I Heart Fishers is a good place to be. So Brad, I know you were concerned. I looked up and the clock said 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm downstairs. And
Yeah.
everybody's
Usually you're yelling at us.
I know it. It was like it's still daylight out. Yeah, it's still daylight. It's just
Well, and you were wait, were you watching Oppenheimer?
I was watching Oppenheimer. Yeah,
He was watching a Barbie movie. Don't lie.
The Barbie. See, I knew I had to get a jump on you, Tiffany, because you're going to be making fun of me right out of the gate. No, but Brad, thanks for your concern. Yeah, it's still going on. I missed the ending. I don't know what happens. I think that somebody lost a war or something. I don't know.
Barbie gets a convertible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, spoiler! Come on, that's no dream house and stuff.
Already got that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Brad. How you doing? We got a show to do here.
No, I'm doing good. I wanted to find out more about you helping out the Repeat campaign at the convention. Just because, do you have more pictures of him wearing the dumbass boxing gloves?
No, but he did have a little boxing ring. Hey, you got to admit, you need gimmicks. You got to have gimmicks.
No,
it was very well done, Brad.
It was well done.
Number one, Todd Rokita was not running against anyone,
yeah,
so he didn't have to do anything.
He just had fun.
So the theme was great, and I don't know.
It was all about him. I can't imagine.
It was all about how he fights for us. First off, I would never want Todd Rokita fighting against me because he is a bulldog, and I appreciate that about him. But the video that he made, Brad, they should air it on TV. That video was so good. It was
you guys should have streamed this. This should have been on.
I was a complete fan.
It was very high testosterone. I'll say that.
I know, right? It's like,
and people don't realize that he got $508 million out of the opioid, companies. I mean, he gets stuff done.
Yes.
I was on a sex trafficking board that sort of fizzled out that he was trying to get done. But honestly, Todd, I think he's got a little ADHD like me. he jumps around a little bit. But he's a good dude. I mean, he just
gets stuff done.
He just gets stuff done. And I know people try to demonize everybody for this and that, but there's plenty of demons.
He definitely has a target of people that he.
I don't think you'd ever want to be in his crosshairs.
Yeah, I can't. He sounds like John Madden to me. We're gonna put Barb in on this case. So he's a character.
I think Todd Rokita would have made it as a pro wrestler.
Yeah, he would. Oh, he'd be.
No, I think a manager. He's got like the Bobby the Brain Heenan kind of head.
He's like Macho Man. Oh, yeah, that's right, Elizabeth. I'm coming for you. Okay, this show is supposed to be serious about politics. Got it.
So, can you tell us more about the convention? Because it was sold out.
Yeah, it was sold out, and people were turned away.
Yeah, sold out from Democrats. Like Brad, hello.
Yeah, what was that about?
I
was looking up tickets. Brad. There was tickets for general admission,
but they ran out.
They said it was sold out.
It was sold out. It was sold out. So basically, Brad, to answer your question about Todd Rokita, that's how I got a guest pass to come in. They did not ask me to do a darn thing about volunteering. I just was there. So that was
nice.
And then also, I was able to sponsor somebody. If you're a delegate, you were able to sponsor a guest also.
Yeah,
so I did sponsor someone.
It was it had its issues. The thing did.
You guys can't come to my party when I don't go to it. So
hey, maybe introduce one of the people running for lieutenant governor. Wouldn't that be something, Brad? How about that? Maybe I could. I did send Bobby. He said I didn't send him the link to this, so Bob Kern may pop on here at some point. I did send it to him, but I sent it to him again. But he's got to. They're trying to do him dirty. Like I said, Jennifer McCormick called him the Micah Beckwith of the Democrat Party. So You know,
We don't need that. The Democratic Party, like, they don't need that right now.
They
Like,
don't need a Micah Beckwith. They got a Brad Swinsky.
They should run Brad as
Doing
the
that
lieutenant
pornography
governor,
all
right?
over
Yeah.
town.
If they got Brad in there, we'd be in trouble.
Show up to a scheduled show on time. Like, what do they have to worry about? Why do they need to try to like stop him from running? You think he like? Come on, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, think about it. It's like it is basically the old George Carlin thing. It's a club and we ain't in it, in anybody's club. And you know, to try to you know, get some stuff done, you got to get a small army behind you. You know,
but that's what I like about this group of people. I think, like, on this show right now, is like that we kind of like rattling cages wherever, you know, and that's what you know, even though you guys are on that side of it, I love it when you guys do stuff. Like, I can't wait to hear about interactions at the convention.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely one of those things that, you know, there was two sides.
Do we amuse you? Do we amuse you like little monkeys running around playing little?
I think it's the same way I amuse you guys. Like, I think we both think the other people
I think
are crazy.
we're equally amused at that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then you
it
throw
is-
a little
it is
Cassie
fun.
Jackson and
It's
Micah
fun.
Beckwith in there, and then we got us a show.
The thing is, I think we all kind of agree on this, that it's a good thing when more people take responsibility and are involved in the political process. Just people from all walks of life, and they get involved with whatever party they think reflects their values, and they actually do something, try to do something about it instead of just complaining. And the problem is the established power structure. They've got their own thing going, and they want to keep doing their thing. And whenever new people decide, hey, there's problems and I want to be a part of the solution, well, then they don't want to let new people in because it gets in the way of what they're trying to do. Like, for example, all of the economic development stuff that, you know, the Holcomb administration and that group of people have been really pushing. You know, that's their thing. And all of us crazy people that are like, you know, we actually don't like it if you try to buy up, you know, millions of dollars worth of land with taxpayer money that's right next door to
And
me.
steal our water. Yeah. Well, and you know, this is think about it though. If you are in that, but you want it's the least amount of people looking over your shoulder and causing problems. And one of the things is that when you have two groups that are resisting each other, is you're trying to take the other one out, when in reality you need to both come together and work together. And that's going to be the telltale in the next couple months, to see if our party can heal, which they should be able to, and they don't have to, because I just don't think the Democrats are going to be.
No, but I think that's what when Mark was talking about Jim Bob's letter or whatever, and
that's not a Band-Aid.
Well, but
like
it's like Micah, you know, saying that Micah is going to ruin the Republican Party, or you know, and I kind of, I just feel like Micah's going to take enough people with him to go a different way. And I don't know that that's going to stick with like Donald Trump's establishment or whatever, you know, establishment exists now.
Where's Micah going to take the people? Does he have a bus?
Wherever Micah wants to take them. You
gotta get them out of bondage, out of Egypt. We're going to part the Red Sea. We're going to part the White River.
You know what I mean, Tiffany? He's like, stay within Indiana.
I saw Micah last Wednesday, and I told John this, and I sent him a picture. Micah had on a blue button-down collared shirt with his sleeves rolled up. So he was sporting a Mike Braun look. So I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, and I texted back in my Bullwinkle voice.
I mean, oh man.
I think we're going to be okay. You know, I think with what he'll be in charge of, I think it'll be fine. You know, it is time for the party to come together. And this is the thing. It's like, where's Micah going to take us? It's like we only have one Republican candidate for president. So it's, you know, hopefully we can all come and acquiesce around our candidate and get him elected and change everyone's life for the better. But
Micah's not very good at staying in his own lane, though.
You make Micah sound like Jim Jones, like he's not passing out Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying Micah can, you know, he convinced the delegates. He got enough people to run as a delegate to then vote for him. in that system. Like
Well, that's what every
he ran
candidate
it so
does.
well.
That's what they did.
I
And that's,
was a candidate last year, and I convinced enough people to vote for me, and I won.
No, and I mean, like he
Ron's
ran
doing
it
the
very,
same.
very well.
I mean, the thing is that, like, we've had people on the show who come on and they're like, oh my God, they changed the rules. I don't have a primary. I want to run as a Republican. Oh, I only have one primary. I can't run. Micah didn't ask for anything special. He followed the rules. He did what any candidate would do, and he won. And now,
in every story about this, though, it talks
over.
about how it is the first time, or like one of the first times, that people just run for lieutenant governor on their own. Like nobody usually campaigns as it.
well, Goldsmith did it in the 90s. He didn't run on his own, but he said, let everybody run. But he ended up not winning. I don't think he was.
I mean, Tiffany, you were on like the library board with Micah. Like Micah doesn't stay in his lane on things.
Yeah,
but he pushes the envelope.
Well, Mike Braun wasn't on the library board with us, so I trust that our governor-elect will keep Lieutenant Governor Beckwith in his lane.
I think that's going to be happening. Okay, so all right, we got Joseph here. So let's get
Joseph,
started.
question for you: what were you trying to get done at the convention?
There we go. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so that actually, there's a lot of tendrils of what you guys are talking about in this, and I kind of want to bring it back to what Mark Small was saying on Small Talk, because that's a very important, central point of all of this. He's talking about shareholders of corporations, and that's kind of what we're talking about here.
Wait, Joseph, you got to boil it down. Give me the bottom line up front, and then take me through it.
Okay, so we are trying to reestablish the convention as the highest authority in the Republican Party organization. Is that a good sentence to sum it up for you?
I mean, if that sums up what you're trying to do. So we would be, the convention would be the decision-making branch, the executive branch.
Technically is already.
Okay.
It already is according to the rules. And this is where he was talking about Jim Bopp being the guy that set up the party organization. Well, it says in the first rule of the Republican Party, it says that the state committee is subject to the Republican Party of the state of Indiana in the state convention duly assembled. And what that means, really, and this will apply to you too, Brad, because the Democrats probably are structured similarly to this. When you have your convention, and what a convention is it's a deliberative assembly of delegates. And a delegate is just a representative of the general members of your group. And so what we do is we elect delegates to represent us to the convention. And the convention is supposed to be a deliberative assembly where people are discussing the issues that are most pressing to the party. And so what we've been talking about is all the tension within the Republican Party. And what I've been trying to do is use the appropriate mechanism, which I believe the state convention is the appropriate mechanism, to have these existential discussions about what it is to be a Republican, what it means to be, what the purpose of the party organization is, and to use the proper process to bring that discussion to the floor.
Why?
Sounds like you're trying to challenge the establishment with that.
Wow, Brad, you picked up on that. You're even a Democrat.
Yeah,
that was a very good explanation of it all. Like that.
Yeah. Hey, just real quick, I do see Bob Kern popping in here, so we're gonna get a spot here.
Okay, can we finish this?
No, we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish this. I just wanted to make sure that Bob sees that. I want to finish this, but I want to leave Joseph on here when we bring Bob on. So if that's okay with you guys.
So Joseph, so all of these existential conversations, is this the majority of the delegates who feel like this?
I think that the majority of the delegates believe that, number one, the purpose of the party is to advance the policy objectives of its members, and we do that through winning elections. The problem is there's a certain small group of people within the party that think of it as the party exists to win elections, and then we kind of hand them off to the elected officials. And I don't think they actually believe that. I think that's just what they tell people because they have their own agendas too.
Whoa. So back up. So you don't think that we should exist to win elections?
No, that's part of it. But there's two things that exist in tension. There is the policy ideals of the party. You know, we're pro-life. We support, low taxes, things like that. And then in order to achieve our objectives with the government, we have to win elections to do that. And so those things are necessarily in tension with each other. You have to balance the ideals with the reality of winning the elections. And that's the constant struggle every election.
I don't really see that as a struggle. I see that more as putting the bullets in the gun. If the gun is the policy, then the people in winning elections are the bullets that get the job done.
Sure, but we have people like Brad.
That is a terrifying analogy.
I was in the military. I'm so
Scare a
sorry.
lone Democrat
No,
away.
I'm just saying you're putting.
I'm so sorry. That's when you put the Pez in the Pez dispenser. Is that better?
Oh, that was
better?
Pez is not just
But
mowing
the
down
thing is that you're
Democrats
talking
with
about
people who
vision and
don't think
mission.
like Republicans.
Sure. Well,
You're talking about vision and mission.
so what I'm perceiving from you, Tiffany, is that you're thinking about it in terms of internally with the Republican Party. When we win elections, we want to implement the policy. Of course we do. But
Correct.
The problem is there's a divide between us and the other party, whom Brad represents here. And so there's voters on the other side that we have to be able to bring along in order to win elections. And so that's where that tension comes in, is because
Do we have to bring the other side along to win?
it depends on the
it's a
district.
nice
That's
gesture.
what I'm
In some
saying.
places, I mean, in truly purple places, yeah.
So like borderline Marion County districts, that's more of an issue. Or
Correct.
a swing state like Georgia, for example, those tensions come into play a lot more. And that's why I'm saying we need to reestablish the policy focus within the Republican Party, because we've kind of lost that.
So are you not happy with the platform?
Well, actually, I think the platform's okay. I could be better, but these weren't platform amendments, and that was a big argument that some people, they didn't get that. Is the resolutions we were proposing, while I care about a lot of them, and there's things like medical liberty and election integrity and property tax reform. The main issue actually was the process, because we've kind of lost. Like the party does not function as if the convention is the highest authority, and the state committee makes a lot of decisions which I think challenge that authority and how they've changed the rules. And what we want is the convention, which is not supposed to be. It's not entirely political operatives. It's not like lifelong political science enthusiasts. This is all like the people that run your clerk's office in your local town. This is just the people that want to be involved enough to go to their local meetings around the state. And we want those people to be making the decisions about what the mission and what the vision of the party is.
So just basically, let's back up just a little bit here. So
Bottom up leadership.
Well, yeah, I mean, have some sort of a voice. If you're in an organization and you're not listened to and you're not appreciated, do you stay in that? That's what we have. A lot of people that have been in this for years have given up. Now, this has sort of rejuvenated some of those folks to think, hey, I'm going to be listened to. So let's back up to the last convention. Let me do this real quick, and then we'll get to that. The last convention, they tried to do this from the floor. This time they did it previous to the rules convention, and I want to try to segue to that about your meeting with them rules. So the convention chair people, the people running the convention, they knew that there was going to be, it wasn't like they were blindsided from the audience the day of the convention. At the time of the convention, they were warned ahead of time what we wanted to do, and in the rules committee. So this is the difference. So this is not something that Joseph and this group thought of yesterday or last week or whatever. This has been years in the making. Similar to my situation, 6 years. It's been brewing for quite a while. So Joseph, you can go from there. I know I want to talk about the rules, what happened in the rules committee, and then finish this part up.
So one thing you got to keep in mind here is with the convention, you've got 1,800 delegates in the room. And if you're trying to have a meeting that follows procedures and it doesn't get into chaos, you have to be very careful about how you approach that sort of thing. And that was our mistake the first 2 years ago is we got our platform amendments submitted beforehand, but then the day after we decided, okay, well, we do have these rights under the rules. We can call a point of order because we're all delegates, and that's one of our rights that we have. And the guy was completely blindsided up there. I don't think he saw it coming. And that's what ended up happening is they just ignored him. And, we had people that were booing, and it was all.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, there was
years ago. Yeah, it was something.
Didn't have the support. And so this time you did the rules. So let's go over that real quick. And then I just want to get Bob on here at some point, but I think we're deep into this conversation now. So we got to keep it going.
So it was, this year, we went out ahead of time and we sent around a letter. We got signatures saying, hey, this happened last year. We're going out ahead of time and letting you know we're preparing to do this so that you know that to follow the rules on all of this. And we let them know ahead of time, and they gave us a meeting with Ann Hathaway and Randy Head, he's the state chair. And we discussed things like, okay, well, we believe that this is the proper place of the convention. Here's why. This is what we want to do. This is how we're proposing to do it. Because remember, you got to be orderly about how you're doing this, or it can get really chaotic really fast with all these people. And so, what we were proposing probably would have added about 2 hours to the convention. Which is not that much when you consider that the last round, we were out of there at like 6 or 7 because
we had to vote 60 times on people. Yeah.
So we still would have been out of there before we were the previous year. So,
do you think maybe you guys should have had like pamphlets or something?
We were sending out texts and we sent out emails. Were you a delegate, Tiffany, this year?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get our texts and emails?
Yeah, probably. I think I got your text messages, but I got a lot. But it's funny because I love the passion, I love the energy.
Yeah.
But I think if you guys would have had like some trifolds on the seats, I think that the average person, the engine, good or bad, runs really well. Yep. And people show up and they play their parts and they go home and they feel really good about it. And for what you're trying to do, I think that you have to take the opportunity to inform every delegate. Text messages. I mean, at that point, it was like pouring water on a wet sponge. Emails again, but I mean, using your time at the convention to connect with people and let them know what you're doing. And I mean, as long as people were sitting there, man, you should have had a booth. I mean, people were captive for hours. And so I think that's the thing that has to happen is like, if there's ideas and energy and you've got to, if you know what it is and this person knows what it is, but if all 1,800 people need to get in line behind you, or if that's what your vision of success is, you missed an opportunity to inform and interact and really engage those delegates to get them thinking that their job is so much more than just casting a ballot for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, and Joseph had quite a few people at the rules committee, and I know that I was outside of there, and they all came out, and they were, Joseph talked in the hallway to a big group of people about, hey, because they weren't happy with this meeting. So Joseph, run us through that meeting.
A little bit. Yeah. So remember again the convention. We don't want chaos. So what they do is when there's issues before the convention. What they do is they assign committees in order to deal with the nitty-gritty details of business before it gets to the full convention. They do this with the resolutions committee, which they failed to assign this year, which also deals with platform stuff in platform years. They have the rules committee, which goes over the rules of the convention. And what they're supposed to, that would have been the appropriate place for us to really hash all the details of this out. And we had actually presented our own version of the rules, the standing rules of the committee to that committee. and we were hoping that we could convince them to recommend that to the body.
To throw out their rules and adopt your rules.
Yes, and this brings up an important point.
That's like saying I love the way you make potato salad, but I really want you to use my recipe forever.
Use carrots.
Raisins. And so you have to know that's a lot to ask, Joseph, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. We're good. That's a lot to ask.
And we may
Joseph, shouldn't chaos be a part of it though? Like you said, like
we could have.
It's just the discussion part. I mean,
I think Micah winning was chaos kind of enough. So
and that was we could have done a lot more to make it more chaotic, but most of us, I think probably all of us supported Mike, and we also didn't want any downstream effects that could hurt his campaign. And so there's other things we could have done. We had one guy who was willing to get arrested for the right reasons.
Oh, was he gonna streak? Oh, a streak would have been so nice. Oh.
Really spicy. But
I've never witnessed a streaker before. That would have been great.
No, it wasn't a streaker. This was like, this guy is like really into free speech, and yeah, maybe you'll have him on the show sometime. All that.
Yeah, we'll do.
I appreciate your passion and energy, Joseph. How old are you?
Obscene.
28.
28. I love it. That's my favorite fake age. I've been 28. I've been 28 for 23 years. So I absolutely love it. So moving forward, what does success look like for you?
Well, I think we had a lot of success this year because there's a lot more people that were asking questions about, what is the Rules Committee? What is what are all these positions? Why am I a delegate? What is my only job to elect this person? And those are the kind of questions we're planting seeds, because it was the same thing last convention. Because afterwards we'd go up and talk to delegates and we'd be like, you know what on there? And they were like, no. And we were able to explain to them what happened. And then they left the convention knowing a little bit more about the process. And that's really what I think this is about for me, is the process. Because what ended up happening, which actually now we're getting to the actual really sketchy stuff that happened. Okay, let me backtrack for a second.
What's the sketchy stuff? You can't tease gossip and then back up.
He's backing it up.
Did you see what happened? Oh, let me tell you what I had for lunch. Like, no, nobody teases gossip.
Really important, so your understanding of the convention. The Rules Committee doesn't approve the rules. The full
delegation
convention can only approve the rules. The Rules Committee just recommends it. And what that means is what happened last convention is he was calling for a point of order to invoke his right to debate those rules. And what should have happened is he should have been allowed to make his case to the whole convention that we should not follow this particular rule that basically gives up all the power to the chairman. Okay. And so what we were trying to do, what we could have done is we could have tried that at this convention. But what ended up happening is Randy Head got up there and said, we don't follow Robert's rules here, so you can't call points of order, which is actually incorrect because parliamentary procedure has common law. There is a common law of parliamentary procedure that Robert's Rules of Order is based on. And so points of order have been a thing since way before Robert's Rules were. They were a thing during the Constitutional Convention in 1787 or whatever that was.
1776. Back in 1976.
Yeah, 1976, that was the bicentennial.
So what I'm getting at is at the very end of the convention, you remember they made that space for us to make our motions. And so we submitted them on time, and I framed the motion such that it was a motion to suspend the rules, which is acceptable. You can do that. A motion to suspend the rules, which they had included that say, oh, you can't instruct your representatives, because all these were framed as we're instructing our Republican representatives to do something. We're not just making vague policy statements, which is what distinguishes this from platform amendments. We were asking the legislature to do specific things, or specifically our Republican legislators to do specific things. We weren't just saying, oh, we support this or that policy. We support property tax reform. No, we're saying, do this. We elected you to do a job, and now do it. That's what we were doing, and that's what they took issue with. That's what Anne Hathaway did not like, because she thinks that our job isn't to instruct our legislators, despite Section 31 of Article 1 of the Indiana Constitution saying we can instruct our legislature. And in any case, what ended up happening is at the very end, I made my motion, and he structured this. He's very slick about how he did this. He structured it as a debate. Okay, so I got up there, said my 2 minutes, and then the other guy got up there and said his 2 minutes. But what he was doing is he wasn't actually debating the motion. He was basically saying this was out of order. He was calling a point of order under
on the point of order,
despite the fact that Randy had earlier told everybody we don't do points of order here. So they created this show that they were following rules in order to undermine the rules.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I mean,
So we're talking history. I mean, powdered wigs, we're good. So moving forward,
yep.
What do you want, and how are you going to do it?
I just want a fair process. And the first step we're doing right now is I filed a complaint through the official complaint process that's established in the rules of the Republican Party.
I love that you're following all the.
I'll tell you what, the dude is relentless.
You're going to make so many people mad because they can't. You're just following all of it.
I mean, that's what the rules are for. The rules follow the rules. I respect, Joseph, that you're following the rules. I respect that.
Hey, you guys, you don't even know. I've had to talk Joseph down for burning the whole place down.
Put it in the box.
He's come a long way since the anarchy. He was so close to Lucy's camp that it was scary.
I mean, we might have to make a trade. I mean, I'm prepared to trade you if I have to.
The thing is, what I'm trying to make this into is I think the Republican Party needs to have these established procedures so we can deal with these disagreements in-house. What I would love to see is more of Lucy's people, all the libertarians, feel like they can express what they need to express within the Republican Party, like people like Ron Paul, Thomas Massey, Justin Amash. If I want the libertarians to be a part of our coalition is what I want. I'm a pretty libertarian leaning guy. Like there's a lot of Republicans that probably don't like a lot of the things that I think about the really dangerous stuff about the federal government.
That's for a whole nother show.
That's another show.
So do you see yourself and I love the passion and the energy, especially when you're 28. So do you see yourself going kind of this grassroots way of getting it done? Or do you see yourself having coffee, one-on-ones with people? Sitting down and chatting.
One of the things that we talked about in our meeting with Randy and Ann, and Joe Elsner was there as well because he's the executive director, is one of the big problems within the party between the grassroots side and the establishment side is there's not enough communication. And so they're doing all these things over here on the establishment side, and then the grassroots people see kind of what they're doing, and they're thinking, oh no, they're trying to screw us over in one way or the other. And sometimes they are, but not all the time. And so it just feeds back into each other, and they don't communicate, and they don't know what's going on, and they just end up,
bashing heads.
The nuclear button, wanting to press the nuclear buttons when they really just need to talk to each other. So
communication. I mean, 100% of divorces, 99% of divorces probably would end if people just probably sit down, have a conversation, and hug it out. So
that's how it works.
Well,
yeah.
We need to have a hug it out with the. So let's recap some things. So let's So
Joseph, you always say specifically there are these things, and I'm a black white kind of person, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, what are the issues?
Are you talking about the specific resolutions that
you keep saying that there's some things that specifically that we disagree on, that the issues are
the party, our organization is probably the biggest one. And I think we took a survey on this. That was one of those texts we sent out, was a survey, which was, what do you think that the purpose of the Republican Party is? And we gave the two options we just discussed, and the overwhelming majority of the people agreed with the definition that I support, which is our purpose is to advance the policy of our members, and we do that through winning elections. Not the other way around. We don't win elections
and then advance the policy.
I don't know what policy, whatever people want. We're just winning elections here. What's
Yeah.
the point of winning all the elections if you're not advancing policy?
You don't have a purpose. Action without purpose
Okay,
ends
that's
in
number one.
disaster.
Yeah, and so the other thing was this is more the procedural thing, the purpose and role of the convention. So as I said before, the Republican Party convention is established as the highest authority in the state, and the thing is, it hasn't been operating that way for a long time, and over time they've made changes to the rules to make it look like that's not how we're operating, but they haven't knocked out the original language. And so actually a lot of different states operate this way, at least in the Republican parties. I haven't looked into the Democrat parties and how they run things, but Texas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Nebraska, Arkansas, Alaska.
It sounds like the song that the kids sing.
Yeah. A lot of other states, their parties function this way. And in fact, the RNC, the National Republican Organization, they approve their rules in convention every year. So they have to approve the rules for their committee every year at the convention. So they've really maintained this. And so
it seemed like we should have done like this stuff like before the vote.
Yes, actually.
Well, yeah, I think so too. And part of the problem is we do these, they do these different people talking or whatever. It's like they could be more efficient. All right. So I think we covered that. I think we've covered this pretty good. We can get back on it again with some more questions, but I want to bring Bob Kern on, and we're going to bring him on, and we'll see what your party's up to, Brad. I mean, I think you've been sitting there, sort of sitting back there going,
This has been great to listen to.
Yeah, this is great for you. But now it's your turn, Brad. So Bob Kern, how are you this evening?
I am great.
Okay, well, that's good. Did you like hearing about the dysfunction of the Republican Party? Did you like hearing that?
Yeah, I actually think both parties are been split up. When I say split up, I mean like they're like twins.
Yeah, they're twins. So, Bob, tell our viewers, our audience, a little bit about yourself and what's going on with you.
Well, my name is Bobby Kern, and I am a native of Indiana. I've lived here my entire life. I'm 60 years old. Sometimes I feel it. I'm a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for 36 years. I was the nominee for United States Congress in the 6th Congressional District, which is up like in the Geist area, which is now the 7th District, but was the 5th. So I'm now decided to, after running for treasurer, the position I really didn't want to run for, but I did run because trying to keep my name out there. When you keep your name out there, people don't forget who you are. And so I decided that at the same time I was running for lieutenant governor as well.
So you jumped in the lieutenant governors, and my understanding is that there was a deadline, and you were the only one that had applied for that position. The deadline came and went, but then mysteriously, there's all these other interlopers jumping in.
Well, I'm so sorry. Correct? Are you a Democrat?
He's a Democrat.
I am a Democrat. I am the only Democrat I'm the oldest Democrat that's on the ballot.
Yeah, and him and Brad are the only Democrats that talk to us.
Look at you, own it. Speak to your people.
I'm a real Democrat.
Yeah. So, and Bob, Bob is a reasonable person. He's like Brad. He's lovable. You can, talk to him and all that. So,
well, I haven't met Brad yet.
No, I'm 28.
To know if he's lovable or not.
I'm 28 too.
He's more Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, you're 28 too. We're all 28.
Yeah. We got energy.
I like that age.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's the best age. It's like enough, but not too much. Your skin is still good. You can still like run a 10K if you need to.
Yeah. That's
you can drink all night.
The good skin is because of no drugs and no alcohol.
And is it all
your skin is flawless.
Yeah. So Bob, so you got an interesting phone call today, and as I said, there's some other people that jumped in here to this race after the fact, and they made up some. We were talking about our rules. Well, they made up some different rules for your deal. So tell us a little bit about your phone call today.
Well, I thought the phone call was going to be pretty awesome because usually it is. but I was disappointed by the discussion that we had. I
Who
felt
called
very
you?
Kelly with the Jennifer McCormick team had reached out to me, and she said, "Bobby," I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "I thought you supported Jennifer McCormick." I do.
I want to run with her.
Yeah, I want to run with her. And she says, "Bobby, Jennifer made her pick." You know, I said to her, and I say to everybody else, that why don't you give, if you're looking for a lieutenant governor and you have a list of people, you should go through that list, especially the people that threw their name in the ring before anyone else did, and have a conversation with that person, a sit down conversation, get to know those people, what they stand for, what their issues are, and who they are. Not just go on what, there should be a process of how you interview somebody for a position. And I meet that position. I'm old enough. I have served as a Democrat. I have the experience. I might not be a state representative or some kind of a senator, but I do have the political knowledge, and I also have common sense to bring to the table.
So that all being said, they basically ask you to step aside. Is that correct?
They asked you to step aside, and then I asked, let me ask you this question. Why do you have any idea why they changed the date to allow these people to get out on the ballot? Because I feel like, and I'm being told, you guys just didn't want me. Well, because everybody had an opportunity, plenty of time to throw their name out there in the hat. Come to find out, this Terry Gooden, he basically works for Biden, and due to the Hatch Act, they had to wait for him to be able to be removed properly and find somebody to take his place, and then he could come aboard and run for lieutenant governor.
So, but they couldn't do that back in March, or
no,
whatever.
They couldn't do that in March.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
Bobby, why do you think that why didn't Jennifer have a running mate?
Well, let's see. Why she didn't have a running mate? From what I was told, she asked Andrea Hunley to run with her. Andrea declined. Andrea Hunley is the new senator of District 46, a new district that was created a couple of years ago. There was other people in the party that she had asked, and they just declined. They don't see her as a real Democrat. They don't really know what her allegiance is. I was actually running for governor of Indiana, and I decided I had lost my vision. This 28-year-old dude here lost his vision, and I'm not able to drive. I felt like Mr. Magoo, and I'm like, oh, I can't drive. So I think it's time for me to set out and not run for the governor's race right now. And instead, I decided I'm just going to see what happens. And I decided, well, I'm going to run for lieutenant governor. So I contacted the news and let them know that I was endorsing Jennifer McCormick, because there's no one else came forward for me to get to know, to find out what they were about. And I didn't even meet Jennifer. I just knew a lot about her. And I thought, well, I'll just give her the benefit of the doubt, the chance. And so I thought she would do the same with myself and the others, but she's been avoiding Democrats.
So how many other people are in now? I know that there's this Terry Gooden. Is that right?
Yeah, Terry Gooden, former state representative for 20 years. And then you have, he's also a conservative, Pentecostal. I'm waiting for him to speak in tongues.
Brad, are you itching?
Yeah, he's got a voodoo doll at home. Be careful.
So, and the other person is, I call him Cliffy Cliff. And I guess you guys call him Cliffy Macaroni or something along that line. But yeah, there's just the three of us. Now there is rumor that because they have until July the 1st, that J.D. Ford might throw his hat into the ring.
Yeah. So now another thing that you told me. Now I asked you to check on this. They would not give you a list of the delegates. Is that correct? Were you able to do some running down on that?
Since I spoke with you, I made some threats.
No.
Yes, you know me. I'm just like that. I made some threats today to the party, and I went online and made those threats, and I got a phone call.
Do you have the delegate list?
Did you get an email?
She is supposed to send me a list of the delegates.
How many delegates? Do you know how many delegates there are? We have 1,800. Does the Democrat Party?
I think we have a little more than 1,800, but I'm not for sure exactly how many we have.
Okay.
Now Brad's sitting there. Does he know?
Brad, are you a delegate?
No.
Who knows
No.
that stuff?
Oh my God, he's a Democrat who's not a delegate?
No. Huh?
No.
No, I'm not.
Well, so what we're, so Bob, we got you on here for a brief minute. We're going to let you go, but we wanted to get that news. But, we're going to have our show. Guys, we're going to have our show on July 9th. We're going to have all of the lieutenant governor people on and see what happens. So, Tiffany.
Bobby, why would they discriminate against a disabled Democrat like you? Loyal to the party. Why would anybody do that to you? You seem so sweet and kind.
He is kind.
Because I'm not a yes person.
Oh, wow. You have that too in your party. Huh.
I am not a yes person. But there's more to me than just being blind. I am also, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I am Hispanic. I'm a minority. I think that's another issue.
Okay. Oh my God, that's double discrimination.
Oh, and I got a triple, and I have triple discrimination. The third one is I'm gay.
Wow. Well, I don't know if that's a discrimination.
This is horrible.
We don't. Yeah.
And it's June.
How dare
they? How dare they?
We're gonna have all of the lieutenant governors to come on July 9th. They're not, because your convention is July 15th. So
it's actually July 13th.
Well, 13th, whatever. It's well, you're going to be on before it. The 9th.
Get it right.
So Tiffany, tell people what happens to people that don't come on our show. Tell them what happens.
Oh, the path to victory. Only because I've been on the show for, over 100
100 plus episodes. Yeah.
100 plus episodes. We've had tons of candidates on, and the path to victory goes through Mouthwash.
It does. I mean, think about it. Julie McGuire didn't come on. The other people that ran against me this Saturday, So I'm just saying,
but historically, even before that, I mean, Micah was a regular. Who else?
Oh,
well, Curtis Hill, he's a regular.
I forgot. You know what they called me today? You brought it up. They called me. I've known Micah Beckwith for about 8 years, because Micah Beckwith was my pastor at my church. And at the church I go to, he was going to Northview. He was the pastor there, and they are our mother church. And so today, Kelly called me Micah Beckwith,
Yeah, that's so. Oh, now we got. Hey, Joseph, we got another weekend. We got to do
How
something.
does that make you feel?
Oh, it feels great because Micah is a great person. Micah is going to. I praise the Lord that he won the lieutenant governor's race.
You
I
just
am so
lost
happy
Brad.
for
You
him.
just lost Brad, Bobby.
That's
Well, I'm
okay.
not a delegate, so you know.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, it's,
But I, as a human being, he is a great guy. As a Christian, he is a great guy. You might not like his political views, but he's still a great guy. He's real, and I love real candidates. And if you can't say what you feel and how you feel, you need to grow some elephant skin if you can't take it.
yeah, you got to have that 28-year-old skin. It's thicker.
Well, actually,
because when it gets 63, it's pretty thin. So, all right, Bobby. Hey, thanks for coming on, and we're
Bobby, if
going
I voted
to.
Democrat, I mean, you'd be at
Yeah.
the top of the list, my friend.
So I look forward to talking to all of you guys on July 9th. And the guy that you have on your show, awesome speaker. I got a great deal of knowledge from you. Thank you.
All right. Well, we don't want to tell the Democrats too much; they'll be screwed up like the Republicans.
I think they already are.
Yeah, it's like we're like the
Latino,
dysfunctional Brady Bunch.
Hey, man, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's that. So, Bobby, hey, we wish you luck. Keep us updated on things, and then I got to get hold of who you got, Cliff Macaroni. I got to get Cliff Macaroni and Terry the Gooden.
I'll never own Dallas, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to own Indiana.
Bobby, one thing before I go, Bobby. You'll never own Dallas. So anybody that knows JR, then Bobby, that's good. So Bobby, that's a good running joke.
Or Whitney Houston, Bobby.
All right, Bobby's got to go now. All right, everybody.
He was cute as a button. I like him.
Yeah, you just he'll tell you how it is, and so
they don't
we'll see what happens.
Indy Star. That's too good of a story. That is too good of a story. Yeah. Democrats holding back, hiding information from the Latino gay
blind
candidate.
Now Bobby has he's had his eyes fixed. He can see again, but he had to get some
discriminating Democrats.
You got to watch them. That's what the B stands for.
That's like inclusion, everybody but Bobby, right? Did I read that wrong, Brad? Is that the byline or is that like the asterisk?
It's like Bobby, you'll never own the
That's
Democrats.
a good, a little.
Well, that was, so that just goes to show you that, that it's a club and we ain't in it. And I don't know if it's a club we want to be in.
Did you see, there was an article that Mitch Daniels wrote that was in maybe the New York Times. I saw it in a text message. Jenny Nichols shared it. And she's one of my friends. She's well read. But essentially, I can't quote it directly, but essentially 5% of the people in the state of Indiana determined who our next governor is going to be.
Yep.
So
that's just
that's
not right, Tiffany.
So you could have pulled a Democrat ballot in the primary. You could have voted. So there are actually billboards that said to do so. But my thing is that like either people care and they get involved, or we keep going as we're going. So that's the thing. It's like most people are going to work, taking care of their families, and they trust that the system that we have that has set up is good enough so that it works. Like I'm Gen X. We went to school. We thought our teachers lived at school. We knew that we needed to get a job. Our parents pushed us to either get a pension, and then these 401ks came out. But, I think the average person, you're so focused on your life that you're not thinking about how these systems and processes work. It's like, me put key in car and go. That is what we think. Like roads just happen. So, you're asking people to do something different. And that's why probably the average age of the delegate, I know I brought it down because I'm 28, but the average age of the delegates is probably 55.
Yeah, it's a lot. So one of the things that these last couple weekends has shown is that it's not already set. I think a lot of times these candidates are handpicked, and people just say, well, they're going to win anyway. I'm not going to vote. I'm hoping that this will get people out there to say, hey, there is hope. There's a guy like Micah that can get through this. There's a guy like me that can get through this. That's not one of these party picks. So I think that, maybe we can get some more people excited about voting.
But the other thing about like not being the party pick, I think the next paragraph to that statement is that we're all aligned to the objective.
It's going to break it, Tiffany.
No, we're all aligned, and I may not be who you want, but I think like you, and I want the same things that you want. So I did a talk with the diversity series. And, sometimes people are painted as disruptors. It's like, you're not a disruption. You truly are somebody who has the same ideas and values and principles. You just are, they just didn't know you. And so it's your opportunity to participate, because it's like, John, if you're elected to Congress, you're not going to go walk in the wrong direction, and
that.
That's what you have to understand, is that like, I may not be who you want, but I want the same things that you want. And that, I think that's the fear, because you've got grassroots that's moving fast. And if they can get, another 6% of people to vote, they'll win. And then there's the establishment. And in between the two is trust. But we're not fully aligned. If there's trust that we all want the same things and we're aligned to the party principles and the platform, then we can all come together and move forward. But a lot of people, especially in Hamilton County, what you will see is that people cannot subvert their egos to get in line. I was in the military for 7 years. I was an officer. And you know what? At the end of the day, when those lawful orders come down, you get in line. And there are a lot of people who can't get in line. And that's why we have so many factions. You got the super conservatives, the ultra conservatives, you got the light conservatives, you got the Monday, Wednesday, Friday conservatives. You have all these different groups, because
the potato heads conservatives
cannot subvert their egos and walk together in one direction. I mean, freedom of speech is wonderful.
In line behind the establishment.
The downfall of freedom of speech is that everybody has it.
All right. All right. Well, hey, so we're gonna let Joseph go, and then we're gonna talk about it some more because we're sort of just having our own discussion now. And Joseph, I think has had enough. So Joseph, we thank you, and I think you were able to talk about what you wanted to talk about tonight, and keep us posted on what's coming up. And if Tiffany's out sometime, we'd love to have you sit in for her. So she's usually out.
Yeah, I can give you some dates.
Okay, yeah. So we'll have you back on the panel, because you're definitely in tune with things.
Questions to people.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you, Lucy, and Brad. Tiffany's
Lucy,
already.
I miss Lucy too. Like,
I don't know.
I don't ever not want Lucy on the show. So.
Yeah, that's right.
I love Lucy too. So, Joseph, I'm actually a national delegate, so I'd love to talk to you about that experience too. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So, all right, Joseph. Hey, thanks for coming on, taking some time with us. I know you got a young kid, another one on the way. Yep. Jeez. So I know you're trying to fix these politics for your babies. Yeah.
What did you say, Joseph? Hopefully another boy.
Hopefully many more is what I said.
Oh boy, he's gonna raise his own delegates.
Yeah, we have to have
He said, by God, I'll make my own delegates if I have to.
I'm 28. I want more kids too.
Yeah, me too. No, I have 4 millennials that I raised, and I tell the people that I was raised by 4 millennials. So that's how that goes.
Where do you live, and are you considering running for office?
He is running for office.
Candidate in District 100 against Blake Johnson. It's in it's the area from Fountain Square to Irvington and in between.
Yeah, but it's all inclusive of Marion County.
So
we're going to have
area. That's a
big
area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we also.
Brad, do you have some magic that you can just and change it?
He's got to have 20.
No.
He's going to have 2,000 more kids to win. That's what he's going to have to do.
You have to take Brad door knocking with you. He's a famous Democrat.
Yeah, he is famous. I mean, who doesn't like Brad? I mean, it's like if anybody on our show goes in and out knocking with you, you're going to get extra votes. It's just how it is. And we also have
charge for appearances though, so it's
well, it's double what we get paid here.
Yeah, double what we get paid here. Yeah.
Yeah,
we also have
20% to the house.
20% of nothing is Nothing. So we also have Slick Woody who's in our audience. He's running in 97 against the Justin Moad, who I've lost to twice. So, but we got to keep pressure. We got to keep pressure on people. That's for sure. Make it competitive, make it fun. The biggest thing I heard from Republicans was when I went in the ballot box, there wasn't anybody running against a Democrat, and that's not cool. So we need to fill up those positions and do all that. So, hey, Joseph, thanks a lot. And we'll be in touch. Yeah. All right. Hey, wait, let's do this.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Tiffany.
Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Right.
Where's
and
your
left.
cats, Brad? Did you eat them?
Making some Chinese food, just,
Are they Siamese Chinese cats?
No. I always thought that was like the running joke of like,
You shouldn't
The
tell
show.
your cat to eat it. You should just eat it like one leg at a time. So I'm actually thinking about getting I'm thinking about getting a parrot. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. Of course you cannot eat
Don't
cats.
worry, they're going to cut that out with you
Like,
doing
it's
that
not-
and me in a tinfoil
that's
hat.
really
and
not
play it.
meaty enough. Anyways, it would be all.
Well,
sweet.
it would be more for the flavor, I think. Like a broth, a nice broth.
Yeah. Some broth
okay.
bone.
Let's wind this
Bone
thing
broth.
up here.
Yeah.
So, Brad, what did you hear tonight about the things that happened?
I heard that there's a lot of chaos in the Republican Party that Tiffany is hoping just goes away magically. That everybody just kind of gets along and puts their egos aside, which, based on history, I don't know how you can be thinking that is going to be possible.
I mean, it happened. It happened back in 1776 when everybody got together. Constitution, Declaration of Independence. They all got together. They were aligned.
That was extremely difficult, though. Too.
1984, America came together with "We Are the World." We came together again in 2001 after 9/11.
Yeah.
So it is possible for all of us to come.
We also
together.
gave away a lot of our rights.
We just have
right
to
after
look
that,
beyond
right?
our
Like,
noses.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
aren't we like monitored a lot more now, surveillance wise, and didn't
we
didn't
got
9/11 bring out a lot of? Wait, is the
Patriot
conspiracy
Act.
theory thing on now? Or
Oh no, we're not doing that yet.
okay.
So I got to put a banner on if we're going to do that. If we're
we
going
can
to go
blame
to that.
sarcasm.
So are we gonna do conspiracy theory? Now I can't wait to see the U.S. House of Representative District 7 guy with the Democrat commercial with my tinfoil hat on. I just can't wait to see that. That's that's gonna
do. I hope that you get the I hope you get the Cassie Jackson treatment.
Oh yeah. Well, hey,
That is what I wish we done.
Cassie Jackson will go after anybody I point her at. She will. She will
I
flat
hope
do it.
that you. Well, you know what? Then she's
Wait,
got her hands.
Is Cassie going to go door knocking with you?
I don't know. She probably would. I don't know.
Oh man, dude, that has to be a show.
This is going to be interesting. I've had an interesting couple of days of phone calls and different things of people calling me. I have a lot of new friends now, Brad. Did you?
No, John, congratulations though. Like that.
Oh yeah, really, congrats.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, you guys did a great job on the show, grilling me and getting me ready for that. But that was.
Wait a minute. So okay, John Schmidt's candidate for Congress. Promise me this, that you will never vote against reducing or getting away or doing away with Social Security. Promise me that.
Why would I do that to myself? I'm just not going to get it. I've been paying into that monkey since 1974.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I will not do that.
How do you stand on the border?
Okay, great, because that wasn't a no.
I will not do it.
That was another question.
I want to make Social Security more solvent so we can get more money. More of our own money back. I'm tired of them spending our money. So I'm going to be conservative.
What are your thoughts on the border?
Well, I think we need to, slow down the immigration. I mean, or legal immigration or the crossings. So, what that looks like is there's 434 other people that get to decide on that.
But we're only voting for you, John. Would you build a wall?
I'd go down. I'm a bricklayer. I mean, we just build a block wall all the way down through there. We'll start and we'll get Mexico to play for it. I mean, what the heck? I mean, it's like, but anyway.
How do you feel about China buying farmland in the United States?
I don't like any foreign country buying any land here because why, we can't go buy land in China. You can't even go to buy land in Australia or anything else. Why do we sell this to these people? This is our property. So no, I don't like it.
Well, they're still paying in U.S. dollars, so.
Oh, come on.
Right?
Well,
What are
hey,
your
we did.
thoughts about the budget? We just seem to be giving money away, throwing it out the window.
It's we could cut so much stuff of that, but I will say that I will double what comes back to District 7 as federal spending.
What do you see? What and in what ways? What are you talking about? Better streets?
Oh, programs. I mean, perfect example of the RBI program. That's the revitalization of baseball in the inner cities. I mean, those are programs. I want to see 3 programs in every neighborhood. That's what keeps people.
But the kids are too busy on their phones.
Right. Well, they're that, but then they'll bring their phones, I'm sure, to this. But like, for example, in Mars Hill, we have the Mars Hill Art Center. That's one thing. We have churches. That's another thing. And then we have, a couple restaurants. But I would like to see 3 positive things in neighborhoods. Either that can be a park. It can be whatever that neighborhood wants. I want people to come to me and say, I have this in my neighborhood. I want this in my neighborhood. How can you help me get that done? And I will be present. I will be here and I will help them get that done. I won't be not here. The person that I'm running against is not here. He's just not present. So I love that. I looked at the schedule and, and we have shootings in this district. There's a shooting every night, it seems. I don't see any politicians going out to these shootings. When I was running for the mayor, I would go to these, and they generally, if somebody got shot out on the street or whatever, the family would together, a group would get together. They'd have a vigil.
A candlelight vigil.
Yes, they would have that. I would go to these things. I would not see any other politician to these things. They don't. And now the shootings are so common and often. I don't know if you could go to all of them, but you need to be present. You need to be present and show the people that you care. And then at some point, these shootings become retaliation because, oh, you shot my guy. Now I'm shooting your guy. And it just is a vicious cycle. So,
but to your point about like the vicious cycle, it normalizes it. And then you've got kids that are seeing it. And then they think that it's normal to have a disagreement over a sandwich or beef with somebody and you grab a weapon. So, I mean, that's the reason that that we have to pay attention to it. If the 50-year-olds, if you can't save the 50-year-olds, you can't save us 28-year-olds. Let's at least create a better environment for the children. That's the reason. We're not going to be here forever. If we don't have a better place for generations to come, what are we doing?
Well, and this position is, you're a U.S. House of Representatives. You're in the U.S. Congress. The schedule is not. It's basically Tuesday to Friday work. You can be available on the weekends here. Being present that is very critical to be present. And you can use this position to influence other people, especially if you are a Democrat in this spot. You can talk to pretty much every councilman for the city is a Democrat. You have a Democrat mayor. Now you have anybody that's a Democrat in Washington should be able to come back and work with those people and get some things done. And we don't have that. That is so disconnected.
But wait a minute. It's not that we don't have that. They're getting done what they want to get done. So the agenda hasn't changed. And
they're not getting it done. They are not getting it done.
The agenda. No. They're doing what they want to do.
What they want to do. Yeah, they're doing what they want to do, but they're not doing what people need. And you can see that in our roads. You can see that in our schools. You can see that in the way people treat each other. We have a floodplain in Mars Hill. We have a screwed up Department of Business and Neighborhood Services. I mean, the list goes on. It's easier to name what's right than it is what's wrong. And, people call me daily to fix their masonry problems. We're working in the old Allison building in Speedway right now. And it's all the angle irons are failing. Bricks were falling off. The city was all mad. And we came in and I have a great crew of guys that work for me. And we're repairing that building and it's looking great. And the owner is happy. The city's happy. And that's what we need in our government. We need somebody to come in and make the people happy because the people ain't happy. The people, yeah. See, but anyway, I didn't want to get off on that tirade, but that's
I think, John, it's important. Are you aligned? Like, it's kind of like what Joseph was talking about. Are you aligned to the principles? And if elected, are you going to advance them? I mean,
the principles are one thing, but we're representatives and people forget that we're supposed to serve and they want to be served. And it's, it was exciting. I mean, winning that thing, having all those people, like 2/3 of the people at that caucus voted for me. And they were jumping up and down. They were so happy because it felt like the monkey was off their back of like, well, we don't have to be in the shadows anymore. Our voice is being heard. And, there was pressure from some of the establishment people. I'm not going to name any names, but that were saying, shaming people for, you're on the Schmitz team. I'm like, no, this is our team. We're all on the same team right now. Let the best guy get through there and let's support him. And I think that we're going to start seeing that. I think that I've already had some people reaching out that would not generally have reached out to me that understand that I'm not spiking the football. I'm not saying, oh, ha, ha, ha. No, we have got to work together. There's enough problems in this world that we need to work together. We don't need to be beating on each other, and let's get it going. And that includes the Democrats and the Republicans. So in this race, I'm going to have to convince Democrats that I'll be present for you just as well as I will be for a Republican, because Andre Carson refuses to meet with me. I love his staff, though. I joke around about that Jessica Garcia. She's been with him like 12 years. I'm going to give her a 10% raise to stay with me. So, because she's good and she gets things done. But
Brad, do you have Jessica's phone number? Do you have like a book?
I got her number. Tiffany, I got her number. I've talked to her. She's helped me out with, trying to, she's giving me the runaround on the floodplain.
I mean, let's keep our, you don't want to give up your source.
I'm not shy about that. I would like to tell people. I told one of the candidates that I ran against this weekend, he said, you're giving me too much information. I said, you know what? In a bike race, I used to tell somebody I'm going to beat him. Then I went out and did it. And I told him what I was going to do. And then I went out and did it. If you have a plan and you can execute that plan, nobody can stop you. It's just how it is. And, that sounds very confident, but if you don't have that confidence, you're not going to win. You're just not going to win. So there you go. And one more thing, the way I do things is, when somebody gives me a problem, say it's a masonry problem, say it's a relationship problem, whatever, I'll do the research, and then I'll do some more research, and then I'll do a little more research. Then I'm going to ask a bunch of advisors, because everybody knows that if you ask enough advisors, you'll have better success. And then I bring it back as a solution to the people and have them tell me yes or no. Now, I know a lot of times, they give you these big bills at the last hour and all that. You're not going to be able to do that. But for big policies, yeah, I want to be able to represent people, not do what I want to do. I need to represent the people that I'm in my district. And that's something that's new and different. Because
John, if the people in your district want to codify Roe v. Wade, or say that is on the table.
Yeah, that's when that'll be interesting. I don't do what ifs, and that will be interesting. That's a what if. My party is a pro-life party, and that's where I am. But the thing is, this is with the states. I believe it needs to be with the states because it's a state issue. I know that we have people that are driving to Ohio or Illinois to have an abortion or whatever that is, but they drive there to get weed too. So what's the difference? It's like, our state decided we don't want to have abortions and we don't want to have weed. That's what the
really
state
deep,
did.
John. That was really deep.
Well, I mean,
what about the medical freedom though? I still don't understand that definition. Still,
well, I think medical freedom stems from the coronavirus shot and being able to say yes or no, and then we saw how that worked out. It really didn't.
I rewatched one of Trump's press conferences from the summer of
please don't talk about this.
Oh, it was like
Are you equating, Brad? Are you equating an abortion with a root canal?
Oh, here we go. We're getting late in the show.
With buying weed. I didn't.
Yeah, well, and see, this is another thing.
I was just wondering where you were going.
This is
because masks and stuff. When people talk about it's not. I don't think the government should get involved in my medical choices.
Well, I agree. So, Brad, let me ask you this: for as far as marijuana, medical marijuana use or whatever, don't you think the states should have their say in that? I would be in favor of getting the feds out of it. And that's one of the problems that Colorado had was they went on their own and there was no way for them to go through the banking system. So they had a big problem with a pile of cash, which is really always a hard problem to have.
John, there's like all the states around us are doing it. Like
I know, but it's the federal government is way behind.
Just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean that you get to do it, Mr.
You're gonna
Man.
jump off the cliff just because they jumped off the cliff? No, but
I'm gonna be getting like five.
Mother.
How much money are they all getting in tax revenue from?
Oh
that
yeah,
again?
no, there's. I mean, and you know, the thing is, sometimes when they have regulations, if they regulate this, then they can say it's safer, it's more regulated.
Michigan said that they made more in taxing marijuana than they did in alcohol last year.
Yeah, well, and you think about it, think
about that, like alcohol.
Think about our state in gambling. We have the betting casinos, we have the lottery, we have sports gambling. Brad, how much do you think that brings in?
How many more vices do we need?
Well, and plus you got the liquor tax, the cigarette tax. I mean,
yes.
How much do you think that those three items bring in a year in tax revenue for Indiana?
I don't know.
Billion. It's right around $1 billion. The lottery alone is $365 million in tax revenue.
Should I buy a ticket?
I don't. I mean,
I'm gonna go get me some scratchers tomorrow.
If I win, I'll spend it all on. Never mind. But yeah, get some scratchers.
Rick.
But a lot of people that's entertainment. Some people rely on it to make a little coin. But
Brad,
we should have the choice.
Brad is a degenerate. Brad, he might be a degenerate. Our degenerate.
You always leave it up to our wonderful audience.
Who's to judge vices? That's and that's, I mean, like, what happened with Pornhub? Didn't Rokita post something on Facebook that like Pornhub's no longer available in Indiana now, unless you enter your driver's license?
Well, you have to have
a driver's license.
You have to prove your age. I got no problem with that. That is, I got no problem with that happening at all.
But I mean, and it's nice though, because Pornhub is the only place on the internet that you can find pornography. So mission accomplished. Indiana is safe.
Well, but it's like, I don't know if you remember FrostWire and what was the other one that was stealing the music, that got in trouble. So, there'll be another Pornhub for you, Brad. I mean, come on, you just have to be patient.
But like, how stupid is it? Like, it's just, and it's trying to take the role of responsibility out of the parents' hands. If you don't want your kids to look at stuff.
The Surgeon General, who I'm sure is a Democrat, and every Surgeon General looks crazy. Can we just all agree to that? To be Surgeon General,
they call them General either. They don't even look like them.
To be Surgeon General, you have to look. You got to have a look. So they want to put a warning label on the internet, I think. So, I mean, Brad, like when young people are exposed to images and ideas, and I learned this from Dr. Stock. So when a forming brain is exposed to things that elicit like excitement and that dopamine rush and it releases this oxytocin, then they become addicted to it. And it's a forming brain. So in a lot of ways, although the government is not acting as a parent, the government, it's like a speed limit sign. It's like, hey, proceed with caution. Let's slow this down. Yeah. Let's make sure that the people who are riding in this lane are ticketed, licensed drivers. So I see it purely as a safety mechanism, because once you get into like that forming brain is exposed to stuff, people end up on slippery slopes. So,
it is dangerous. The internet is very dangerous.
Hold on a second.
Pornhub's dangerous. All that OnlyFans, all that stuff is dangerous.
Like the whole internet. I mean,
yes, it is. And I wouldn't let my kid on there.
Here, classes for kids.
Macy's is dangerous. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Brad. Here's one for you. Spiro's got. He says, "Oh, not to worry. You can get it in the school libraries."
No, the library.
I think that was to you, Brad. Yeah. I'm just saying. Maybe not, but that was good. All right. Hey, this has been a lively discussion. I'm glad you guys got to grill me some more about that, but about positions. But that always helps. You want people to know where you stand,
especially if you've got to get Democrats on board, and you've got to raise the Titanic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a task, but I think the main thing is that my thing is I'll be present. I'll be here with you. I'm in it. I'm in the neighborhood now. I'm like, I live in it. You can't live more in.
I want to see you at crime scenes. I want to see candles. I want to see you be present. I was chatting with somebody who's running for office, and they're running for a role. I was like, if gun violence is that bad, you need to be at the funerals with the moms.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't make
I
it
think
about
that
you. Stand in the back, and you got to show people that it's not acceptable.
it's
I
not.
mean,
And
whew, if I lived in New
I'll be
Jersey, that's
talking
what I
to
would do.
a bunch of inner city little leaguers this weekend, and it's important that we are in front of them and show them that, hey, this is how it is. It's not, when we have a dispute, we don't do that. And unfortunately, our parties, and you look at our parties right now, if you can go look up and on my social media, and there's people out there just calling me. They don't even know me, and they're calling me all sorts of names, and I'm dangerous, and I'm this and that, I'm that and this. It's
That's the thing. Conversations don't always have to be chaotic. Like they need to be like, demystified and de-escalated. As for, I think people get too hyped up when they are having a conversation to where it you feel like it's an ego thing, like person against person, and
like they have to win.
idea against
it's pride. I think that there were I heard on the radio tonight that there was an altercation that should have never ended and somebody killing the other person. It was just some trivial little thing, but it ends up escalating into this, into a gunfire and somebody dying, and now that the person
it is never ever worth.
But when you, John, as I was listening to you say that, an altercation ending in gun violence and somebody dying, it takes me back to Trayvon Martin and that stand your ground stuff. And I know that the guy who shot him was found like not guilty, but that was an opportunity for a consequence. And it's very rare that you see consequences. So you can kind of understand how some of this just gets out of control. Nobody sees or understands the consequences. And, you'll see, a TikTok or a reel and somebody, a 17-year-old's being sentenced to life in prison, and it suddenly sinks in.
Yeah.
But people aren't seeing the consequences and understanding them. And we normalize going to jail, but we don't talk about what you're missing. I was watching a reel today, and it was this guy like doing like he was doing like a tour of his prison cell. It was like, this is the bathroom over here, and this is where we hang our clothes, and
it's like no big deal.
I was just like, well, one, it's like, okay, I'm glad to see it, and hopefully this is, young people will see it and it'll be like, wow, this is not a place that I want to end up. But like the cell phone, and I mean, it
doesn't seem like it's that hard. Well, how about glamorizing shooters? There's a little bit of a glamour, hey, he's a shooter.
Oh, you mean like the school shootings and stuff?
No, just a shooter out in the community. So, he's a shooter. He's somebody he's killed somebody, because they don't solve all these murders. They don't. They only solve about a third. So
well, why would they? I mean, like, depending on what conspiracy theory you subscribe to, why would they work together?
Well, and a lot of people out in Brownsburg or Greenwood or whatever, they'll let the animals kill themselves. We don't care. It's drug dealers. It's this, it's that. It's not, it's unacceptable. No matter what it is, it's unacceptable. So, but look at that.
And I love what you're saying, John, because we should evolve. We should be able to have conversations when we disagree. And, I guess, it's utopian. I'm sorry. I've got on my glasses.
I know. Where's Brad's glasses? All right. We are not going to do, we're going close to 2 hours here. So we are not doing conspiracy theory.
Having conversation. And people should know this is the conversation that we have once the show ends. These are the things that we talk about.
Usually it's
the same temper, the same level of emotion. These are the conversations that we have right after the show ends.
Well, and that's what, and before this, we have Cassie Jackson. I do a show with her, and I know, Tiffany, I know your feelings, and there's people that even tell me those feelings with a little more stuff on it. But, we have to have conversations with people, and being able to have a conversation with pretty much anybody, which I try to do, and Bob Kern, our guy that was on tonight, there's a lot of people that, oh, he's crazy. He's this, he's that. But
you didn't see
he's not. No,
he's a Micah fan and a Democrat. I don't think I would have ever seen that.
He's and he was good. He was friends with Jen Pace that passed away, and he was him.
But can we stop focusing on our differences and being like, wow, he's a concerned American who is willing to sacrifice his time, energy, and resources to run for office, to be lieutenant governor. Wow. I mean, like just devoting your time and running for office. I mean, that's a lot. And what I love the insight that he had about Jennifer McCormick. And I'm going to paraphrase. We don't know what kind of Democrat she is. We don't know how she's aligned. It doesn't even sound like the Dems are on board with her plan. So yes, let Bobby run. Jennifer,
that's and
McCormick and Hearn, is that his last name? Hearn?
Bobby Kern. Yeah, McCormick and Kern. That sounds like,
Jennifer and Bobby back together, the tour. Jennifer and Bobby.
Well, the thing is, it's they have an uphill climb. I'm sorry, there's just too many Republicans in Indiana. It's just bottom line. I mean, they're Braun and Beckwith are really going to have to screw up.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be like the presidential election in 2020. Like,
I want to quote Miley Cyrus here. There's always going to be another mountain. There's always going to be a blah, blah, blah. It's not about how fast I get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's all about the climb.
It's all about the climb. I want to come in like a wrecking ball. So that's my Miley Cyrus comment. So, there's a lot to talk about. But honestly, if you're a Brad or if you're a Bobby or if you're Tiffany, you've done it the right way. You came in through the front door. We sort of kicked in the back door, how we did it. But it should be encouraging for anybody that wants to get involved now, because there is a chance for you. It's not just already been picked. There's a reason for you to go vote, because it's not already selected for you by the party. It's a little different. It's a little different day for us.
And I love it because we are the big tent party, and the tent's getting bigger. And
yeah. It's getting ready to get a lot bigger in Marion County. So
it's getting bigger, and
that's a lot bigger. We're gonna start seeing some younger and some color and some other things coming in here, and
nose piercings.
Oh yeah, all that, maybe double
lashes.
Lashes. Now we got to draw a line there.
I tell people, number one, it's easier to be an elected African-American female veteran than it is to find a really great person to date. So I think that's funny. And the Indiana Republican Party is the only place where a woman of color can be herself. So
that's, and that's like our show. We want you to be able to speak your opinion. We're going to respect your opinion. We may not agree with it, but we're going to respect it. And I think that works. I think that's a void that's in media now that hopefully we can one day get paid for doing. Oh, sorry. You guys aren't laughing at that.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Spiro's comment. Elections are theater. Lucy, green rectangles. Taxation.
Green rectangles and
taxation. Okay.
Taxation.
We almost missed it.
Okay. Well, let's see if we got something here. Oh, I got an ending somewhere. Okay. I'm ready to do it. You guys are ready? So next week, I don't know what we got next week. We got something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. You'll all be ready to go. Lucy will be back. We'll figure it out. It's been a little hectic lately. So
you got a lot going on.
A couple things. That's all.
Thank goodness you quit teaching spin. Woo.
I know it. Yeah, I quit off. My last day was Friday for 7.5 years, so I don't have to go at 5 a.m. tomorrow and do this. So that's
nice. Sleep in, dude.
Janet, you're awesome. Go through the comments and say hi to people.
Yeah, let's go to the comments. We got Janet, we got Spiro. They are definitely eating up the thing. We got Slick Witty. He's running in 97. So we got Tommy Ice. Pot is too strong today. You may need to ease back on those cookies. So I tell you, my wife's cookies.
Those edibles are strong.
Oh man, just don't even. So I quit smoking the pot in the 9th grade because I flunked off the basketball team. So you can put that in your commercial.
There's been a lot of advancements though, John.
Have they? Well, it was. That was good. So hey, it's just for some people. It's not for some people, right? That's how it is. But we got Jimmy Bennett. He's critical in helping with things. So.
Who's he?
Jimmy Bennett. That is Kevin Bennett's dad, and they are a force down in Franklin Township. They're carrying the weight down there. So
all right, Jimmy. All right, we
got JD Van Brown or Jay Van Brown. I don't know if that's that if we call him Van or Jay or Vajay.
Oh wait, who do you guys think Trump's VP pick is going to be?
Ramaswamy.
Vance.
Ramaswamy.
No, I think he's going to go with Byron Donaldson out of Florida. Oh my gosh, I'm
You
so
think so?
excited. So excited.
Why do you say that?
Because I mean, like, he's done a fantastic job defending him whenever he's on TV. He's a great conservative, level-headed guy, likable,
Persecuted man.
good,
you know?
yeah, good personality, strong voting record, a great conservative. Yes. So the thing is that, like, I think that him as a pick is pretty strategic because it takes race off the table.
Oh, Slick Witty says Christy Nome. I think when
Kristi Noem shot herself in the foot by shooting
in
her
the
dog.
puppy, she shot herself in the puppy, and then that was
good.
So, well, you know, so who do you think, Brad?
Oh my God, John, have you ever shot a dog?
I think it's going to be JD Vance.
Why would I shoot a dog?
Okay, I don't know, just
I
checking.
mean, it's like I've had dogs get run over before, and I had to bury them. That was sad. And we had to take our wiener dog in last year, and she was so sick and couldn't see and everything. And that was a sad day. I got little pictures of the little scarlet chili May. So thanks for reminding me of that, Tiffany, at the end of the show.
Well, the question was, have you ever shot a dog? But
I've never shot a dog. Why would it, or a cat, or anything like that? I mean,
you don't shoot cats, you eat cats, right, Brad?
It's not a can of spray paint once.
We used to throw those in the fire and blow them up. So it's good. So, Brad, who do you think is going to be the pick?
I think it's going to be JD Vance because.
Oh, really? I don't.
Yeah, because I think Republicans love celebrities more than anything. And JD Vance, he's an author. He, and he wears a lot of mascara, which.
Okay, so
very,
Brad,
very
we're gonna bring the 8-ball in here. We're gonna do the 8-ball.
What do you mean about JD Vance and mascara?
Oh, like just look at. I mean, he wears. Sometimes he's pretty heavy with the mascara. Sometimes he's not.
Just mascara?
But, yeah, well, I don't know if it's just mascara, but the mascara is very evident.
It said JD Vance. You may rely on it. So the Magic 8-ball thinks Brad is correct. We'll see. It's not been totally.
I don't like him. He torched Trump before, but now he's like, kissing his butt. So
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
As does one in the Republican Party, I guess.
Yeah, we got it.
Unless you're a delegate,
Yeah, Chapstick is our sponsor. Chapstick is our sponsor for all the butt kissing we do. So Spiro wants to know if I even shot a squirrel. No, I've never shot a squirrel. I've trapped 17 this year at my house to keep them out of my garden, but they were catch and release. So I've never shot the squirrel. So, you know that. So, all right. On that note, speaking of squirrels, it's time to go. It is time to go. I mean, I don't have spin class at 5 at the crack of dawn tomorrow. I'm good with that, but we have gone on too long. So everybody say goodbye, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on the Mouthwash Talk Show. Hey, Minty, fresh take on politics. I promise I'll be on time next week. I can't believe I was so late. Brad was concerned and all that. Good night, everybody.